All right, everyone, welcome to Geometry A, start of trimester 2. Here's our first lesson. It is points, lines, and planes. All three of these words should sound familiar to you. Points are exactly what they sound like. It's just a point. A line, you guys know lines from algebra. And planes are not the airplanes you see flying in the sky. Right? Planes are surfaces. I think of planes as surfaces. All right, moving on. Here we go. Starting this lesson off. In our notes, it says draw some line segments, and rays. What's the difference between a line segment, and a ray? So let's start with that. Let's start with a line. Okay, a line. What does a line look like? A line looks something like this. It has arrows on both ends to show that it goes on forever and ever in both directions. Okay, that's what a line is. A line goes on forever and ever in both directions. A line segment is a little different. Okay? A line segment has two endpoints and a line is in between them. Okay, so a line segment does not go on forever and ever. In fact, it stops at both points. Okay? And then a ray. What is a ray? A ray has one endpoint and goes on in one direction forever and ever. Okay, so that's the difference between a line segments, and rays. In my videos, I might be erasing some. That's because on the smartboard, I can't scroll down and leave that drawing there. The drawing will come with me, so I have to erase. So if you need to rewind the video to go back, you can. Here we go. Next part, explanation 2. Describe and sketch the ways in which two lines can intersect or not intersect. Okay, lines. So lines go on forever and ever, right? And if they're not going to intersect, they're what's called to be parallel. Parallel lines. Parallel lines do not intersect. So imagine these two lines are parallel, and to represent parallel lines, they have these little notches in them. That represents parallel lines. Those will not intersect. Okay? If I have two lines, I'll go in blue here. If I have two lines and they are not parallel, but maybe in my drawing they don't intersect, okay? They will intersect at some point, right? Because these lines go on forever and ever and ever in one direction. They're going to intersect somewhere right in here. Okay? They will intersect. So any two lines that are not parallel will intersect at some point. Okay? Give examples of each using lines formed by walls, floor, and ceiling in your classroom. I'll do that in our next example. Okay, describe and sketch ways a line and a plane can intersect or not intersect. Okay, I'm going to draw a plane. Here's what a plane is. A plane is a surface. Okay, I like to think of a plane as a rectangle. Right? Think of that plane being a wall in the classroom. Okay, the one wall. Just think of that. That's your plane. Now, if I have a line over here, okay, it's not going to intersect that plane. Or think of that plane as the ceiling and that line as below the ceiling. Right? It'll never intersect. Okay? Now, think of that line going from one classroom to the other. Think of that going through. Oh, it hits. And it goes through my classroom. Oh. Okay. It goes through my wall into the other classroom. That is what it looks like when a line intersects a plane. Think of two planes. Think of the wall or the ceiling and the floor. in your classroom. Will those two planes ever intersect? Will the ceiling and floor ever intersect? No, right? And if they do, it'd be a weird type of architectural problem. Okay, but in my classroom, right, it's a regular rectangular classroom. The walls and floor, or the floor and ceiling, do not intersect. All right. What does it look like if they do intersect? Well, if I had my ceiling, okay, and my back wall, they intersect right here, right? Imagine my ceiling and my back wall, they're intersecting on a given line. Okay, and on that line is where they intersect. All right, moving on. I'm not going to use a dynamic software right now. Okay, in later lessons I might be, but right now I'm not going to be. Some notes here. Some notes. Undefined terms. The words. Okay, undefined terms are words that we really don't define, like a point. Okay, a point is a point. We really don't have a definition for it. A line or a plane. And they're just exactly what they are. Okay? For a point, I'm just going to draw what it looks like. A point is a point. Normally, it is one-dimensional. Okay? Actually, it doesn't have a dimension. Okay? A line has one dimension, and it's represented by two arrows. Okay, so a line, right? Draw a line. Okay. A plane has two dimensions, and it's normally represented by a rectangle or a parallelogram. Okay, so a plane, something like that. It has two dimensions. I'll write that. Okay, so think two-dimensional when we draw a plane. A line is one dimension, and a point has no dimension. Okay. Collinear points. I'm going to erase this stuff. Collinear points are, let's see, they're points that lie on the same line. Okay, it's exactly what it sounds like. Points that lie on the same line. So it has to be at least 2 points, right? 2 points. They lie on the same line. But it can be multiple. It can be 3 points. It can be 4. It can be 5, right? Imagine this point is right there. Okay, this point is there. They lie on the same line. Those are collinear points. You have co-workers that you work with, right? Co-worker, work with. Collinear, on the same line, right? Line, collinear. Coplanar are points on the same plane, right? All these points, they're all on that same plane. Okay, points on the same plane. Moving to the next one, defined terms. They are terms that can be described. Terms that can be described using known words such as point or line. Okay, those are defined terms. Line segment or segment okay, consists of endpoints. So let's say we have line segment or segment AB. Okay, let's say we have that. This is important to know, okay, because I had some students make a lot of mistakes on this first try. Line segment AB can be represented as AB with a solid line, no arrows, above AB. That is a line segment. Okay? Its endpoints for AB would have endpoint A and endpoint B. Alright? Those are line segments or segments. Segment AB or line segment AB, doesn't matter, can be represented by this AB with a solid line over it, line segment over it, no arrows, okay? And its endpoints would be A and B. Moving on to rays. Remember, a ray has one endpoint and it goes on in one direction. Right? A ray has one endpoint and it goes on in one direction. Let's say this endpoint is A and there's a point B. A name for this ray has to start at A and go towards B with an arrow. Okay? Now, there is a difference. If I had point B go towards A or go through A, this line segment would be called, or this ray would be called BA. Okay, there's a difference. Understand that difference. Alright? Opposite rays. Opposite rays. Let's say I have a line and I have a point A and a point B and a point C. Alright? Opposite rays start at the same point and go in opposite directions. So an opposite ray here would be BC and BA. They have the same starting point and go in opposite directions. Those are opposite rays. Do not say BC and CB because they do not have the same starting point. Those are not opposite rays. Okay. Intersection. Intersection, we should all know what intersection is. We've been in cars long enough, I hope, to know what an intersection is. Intersection is when two things cross. So an intersection here would be right there. And those are intersections. Moving on. Good stuff to read here if you want to take a look in your notes. But I'm going to go down to the practice. Looking at this diagram over here on the right, give two other names for what looks to be segment CD. Segment CD. Okay, two other names. Or is that a line? I can't tell from my drawing. I will look in my journal, my physical journal. Give me 1 second. Sorry, just have to look to make sure that it's not a line and it is a segment. Sorry about this. Just give me 1 second here. Nope, that is a line. That is a line, CD. Okay. I looked at my physical journal. It's easier to see. It's not as pixely. This is a line, CD. So through CD, we can say, well, because it's a line, it goes through both points forever and ever. We can say DC. That's a D. DC. Or we could also say this line is represented by this letter M. Okay, Okay, this little m represents the line. So we can say line M. Give another name for plane M. Notice the difference between the lowercase letter and capital letter. The capital letter represents the plane. Okay, and we can name a plane by giving 3 points on that plane. So give me 3 points. Well, we have actually 4 on this plane. We have A, C, B, and E. So we can say plane A, B, E. We can say plane C, A, E. Plenty of names. Okay? There's 4 points. We have to name 3 of them. Name 3 points that are collinear. 3 points that are collinear. 3 points on the same line. Okay? Then name a 4th point that is not collinear with these 3 points. Well, there's only 1 line with 3 points on it. And that's right here. That's this line with point B, C, and A. So we can name 3 points that are collinear: A, C, and B. And then a 4th that is not collinear, we could either say D or E. Okay, that is not collinear. Name a point that is not coplanar on the same plane as A, C, and E. Well, there's only 1 point that isn't coplanar, and that's point D. Moving on to the next exercises, some more examples. What is another name for line PQ? Well, we could say QP. Right. You could also say TQ. You could also say line J, whatever it is. What's another name for line RS? You could say line K. Oh, line K. Name all rays with endpoint T. Endpoint T. So our endpoint is here. It goes on in one direction, 4 different ways. So we could say TQ. We could say TS. We have to say TR. We have to say TP. Okay? Which of these rays are opposite rays? I'm going to search it. Okay? TQ, its opposite ray is TP, because they both start at T. One goes at TQ, one goes at TP. The other 2 are TS and TR. Okay? On the diagram, draw planes M and N that intersect with line K. Hold on 1 second. Drawing got a little messy. I'm just going to erase all of this. Okay. Number 8 says on the diagram, draw planes M and N that intersect at line K. Okay, so we have to draw a plane that intersects this line. Okay, well, if we draw a plane, let's say we drew this plane. Okay, there's our green plane. Now, we have to draw another plane that comes in and intersects at that line. Okay. Do your best with these drawings. My drawings aren't great. Do your best as you can. You won't get docked points if your drawing isn't terrible, or if your drawing is terrible. Okay. If you do your best and kind of show me what you mean, you're fine. There's my drawing. These last 4 or 2, sketch the figure described. What is that? Is that segment AB and ray BC? Again, these are kind of hard for me to see on my pixelated smartboard. So again, I'm going through my physical copy. Sorry about this. Sorry, it's taking a while. Yeah, so all we have to do is sketch segment AB and ray BC. So, we have segment A, B, but there's a ray going from B to C. There you go. That's how we can sketch that figure. If we say line K in plane M, we have a big plane, we call it M, capital M. We have our line K. All we have to do is put that little K next to our line. There you go. All right. That's your guys' video for Chapter 1, Lesson 1.